Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev. Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful morning today. A little crispy, but a mountain time. I'm Bill Carlton, a practitioner here at CSL Denver. I would like you to gently close your eyes and take a deep breath and release all the negative emotions. Just be present in this beautiful world. We feel that oneness of God surrounding all of us, leading us to embrace the imperfections in our lives. We know that oneness is present in the message we receive, the music we hear, the technical support of Reverend Elzia and Diego, our producer. I know each and every one participating and attending this service is blessed. I'm grateful and give thanks for all that has brought you here in this moment. As we release these words to the universe, knowing they return to us tenfold. And so it is. Our talk for today is grounded in gratitude. Being in that gratitude moment. From Ernest Holmes, we cannot really have an attitude of dislike or hate or viciousness towards other people without robbing ourselves the healing power and comforting presence of that divine essence, that universe itself rests on our shoulders. From Ideas for Living. Another one from Ernest is, when we dislike people and groups, we are bearing witness to our small and limited viewpoints. The people in whom we fail to find good are born of the same mind, operating under the same law, and expressing the same life as we do. Our inability to see their divine origins is our self-created stumbling block. Often, we are held back by our petty dislikes of other people. That's in Richer Living. Another one by Ernest is, life is all there is. It is the reason for all that we see, hear, feel, all that we experience in any way. Now, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. And it is impossible for something to proceed from nothing. Since something is, that which it came from must be all that is. Life, then, is all there is. Everything comes from it, ourselves included, from creative mind. And a couple of topics from Stoic quotes by Tate Harry. Number 36 is fall 7 times and stand up 8. That's a Japanese proverb. And number 77, what consumes your mind controls your life. That's from Buddha. Just be more open. And now a bit of music from Suzanne Clark.
Hello, CSL Denver. Susan Clark here to provide the music for you. I was reading, I don't have it in front of me, but I was reading about the topic for the day, and it was kind of talking about, how did you put it, the beneathness or the underneathness, kind of paying attention to those subtle forces below us that have some wisdom to offer us as far as what path we should be on or how to change our path or be on a different path. This song kept coming to mind, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's not my usual fare, but it's one of my all-time favorite songs. It's by one of my favorite songwriters, John Hyatt, and this is called Listening to Old Voices with a New Ear. So see what you think. They have come to haunt the children, they have come to walk the wind. I can hear them as they whistle through the trees, looking for the love that killed them so that they might live again. It's a simple prayer that brings me to my knees. With drums and bells and rattles, they have caught us in our time to watch the eagle rise up from the fire. Now is it true we are possessed by the ones we leave behind, or is it by their lives we are inspired? It's a new life, a new day. Listening for the meaning, learning how to say it's a new place, but you've always been here. You're just listening to our voices with a new ear. It's the living and the dying world, it scares the young ones so they can hardly catch their breath before too long. Oh, they see the tears we're crying and they watch that river flow, and they follow on the banks until it's gone. I surrender to the mountains, I surrender to the sea, I surrender to the one who calls my name. I surrender to my heart and And she surely is God's artist as she's caught the morning dew. It's a simple prayer that brings me to my knees. It's a new life, it's a new day. Listening for the meaning, learning how to say it's a new place. But you've always been here. You're just listening to our voices with a new ear. It's a new light of a new day. Listening for the meaning, learning how to say it's a new place. But we've always been here. We're just listening to our voices with a new ear. Ooh. There's wisdom right below the ground in our feet. If we only listen, we will feel more complete. Mother Nature, she's always there to show the way. You just have to listen and try to do what she says. You're just listening to all voices with a new ear. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love, a spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and utilizing universal principles to empower our lives and the lives of others. I think that song has set me in a tone there, just a real grounding tone, that soft piano playing underneath that really, it shifted my consciousness while I was just sitting there. So it takes a minute for some time for spirit to come in. And so I would like to just start with this invocation just to ground ourselves in this oneness called life. Infinite Spirit, source of all there is. In this sacred moment, we open our hearts, minds, and very souls to the power of the intelligence that is everywhere present. We affirm that each person gathered here today is receptive and ready to hear that still small voice that calls us to something higher. May we take this time to awaken to the truth of who we are. We send forth blessings, and we are asked that each person center themselves, ground themselves in the power and presence that is each and every one of us. We know that this moment is sacred, this time is precious, and that we are in the right place at the right time, and so it is. Amen. And so today we want to continue with this theme of grateful for it all. That's the monthly theme, is to be grateful for it all. And today we want to look at this idea of being grounded in gratefulness. Grounded in gratefulness. Because gratefulness or gratitude or thanksgiving are many different synonyms, if you will, to state this idea of being. An idea of being grounded in gratitude. And so if we look at the idea of being grounded is a spiritual state of being deeply connected to oneself, to the earth, and to the present moment. It's not just about physical stability, but about emotional, mental, and spiritual alignment. And then when we couple that with gratitude, gratitude is a sacred awareness, an act of humility, a transformative energy capable of shifting perceptions from lack to abundance, from fear to trust, from isolation to unity. And so when we put those things together and we allow them to just sit with us, we come to, I believe, this point where we say, I am the presence of the divine. No matter what cup you bring to the table. If you bring a small cup, you'll get a small portion of that. If you bring a bigger cup, you'll get a bigger portion of that. But no matter what cup you bring, you still are centered in the gratefulness, in the gratitude of the one thing. You know, Bill was reciting and he stated that idea of nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Now that is profound. That is profound because, you know, it takes me back to this idea of the creation of all things and how we get to this idea of oneness. Almost universally, everybody states in some way or another that in the beginning, there was nothing. I'm going to repeat that because I don't think y'all heard me. In the beginning, there was nothing. But if we believe nothing from nothing leaves nothing, then there was something that turned into something, although you couldn't see it. And that's what gratitude is like. Gratitude is this thing that is. Let me say it that way. Gratitude is this thing that is. It's everywhere present. No matter whether you see it, realize it, utilize it, it's there. It's a power of one idea of wholeness, of gratitude. It moves beyond this idea of giving thanks. I mean, I think that's probably the lowest form of gratitude, right? Because just think, you know, got everybody raise their hand. How many times have you said thank you and you meant something totally different? You thought you was expressing gratitude by saying thank you, but you know, the creative mind of the universe, it knows what was behind that thank you. And it was not thank you. It was something totally different. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So if your thanks is nothing, if you're not giving really some humility, some service, some awareness, some understanding behind that thank you, I mean, you might as well say, you know, topo gigio. I don't know anything. It don't matter. Because we live in a world, as our teaching clearly states, as we think, so we become. As we continue to think, so shall we remain. So no matter what the words are, because the words are a manifestation of the thought, of the idea, of the spiritual energy that is welling up in each and every one of us from the divine. And when we can realize that and step into that, we don't need to pretend that problems are anything other than problems. I'm going to say that again. We do not need to pretend that problems are anything other than problems when we can really embody, understand, and exude what gratitude is. Because we know that for something to exist, no matter what it is, it came from the something of the all, of that one thing that was invisible, that manifested itself into a myriad different expressions of this thing called life. Now, You know, there's that football is in the good season right now. And you'll hear a lot of people saying, well, look, there's no other game in town. And that's what I'll tell you about life. There is no other game in town. Life is, as they say, I hear the young folks say, life is lifing. I don't even know what lifing is, but I like it. I like lifing because it encompasses everything. It's in motion. So we begin to understand and realize that gratitude is more than, you know, a feel. It's a law. I would say gratitude is a law, just like the law of electricity or the law of aerodynamics. There are some things there that just happen. Just because if you put yourself, as we said earlier, in alignment with the law of gratitude, you can accept it all. You can be grateful for it all. Now, when we look around our society right now, there are countless ways for us to step in gratitude in terms of giving it and receiving it. Giving it and receiving it. Because we have a lot of people that are, let's say, unplugged from the electrical charge of gratitude right now. They're unplugged for whatever reason. And sometimes, I'll raise my hand, I feel I'm unplugged from the electricity of gratitude for whatever reason. I got mad, whatever, doesn't matter. But what does matter is that I realize that gratitude is a law and I need to plug back in. I need to get connected again to that something that is unseen, that is always flowing, that is ready to recharge your battery whenever you're ready. It acknowledges that the good that exists right beside, I mean, real close up to the challenges that you face. Often we forget about the challenges. We forget about each and every one of us in this room, on the call, came through a challenge, because the birth process is a challenge. It's a life and death situation, or birth and death situation. Let me correct myself, because life composed of birth and death. It is a whole thing encompassing both ends of the spectrum. And if we forget that, we start our life unplugged. That's why you see, I believe, little children, they're running, they fall down, boy, they're crying like I don't know what. But in a matter of minutes, they're laughing and doing exactly the same thing they just did to fall down to get the crying going. They understand that, okay, yeah, well, that's a process. Next time I'm going to be a little more sure-footed in my stepping. I'm going to be a little more aware of my environment. Because when we are grounded, we come to this attitude. I think Melanie Beatrice says this. This I think is profound. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Now, who don't need some of that? I'll take a double dose into that, right? Because, you know, as my one friend said, you either just left a problem, you in a problem, or you headed towards a problem or challenge, or replace problem with whatever word that sits, but it's the same thing. It is something to get your attention, not to keep you down, not to cause you fear. It is a way of understanding and changing our perception of everything. Me, you, the world, the divine, change the perception. Change the perception. Because when we can understand that, we move from this idea of seeking to an idea of knowing. Because I can seek for something the rest of my life and never find it. How many times have you seeked and you did not find? But when you had that idea of knowing, when you released all that angst, if you will, like magic, it appears. We've all had similar experiences to that, whether it's with the car keys or with the friend you thought about, or many, many different ways that shows up to allow us to step into gratitude. There's a young man, he's on Facebook, I think he's on YouTube, all of the social channels, named Nick Otter. And he tells the story about a blind boy sitting on the steps with the sign that says, you know, I'm blind, can you please help me? And people walking by, and he gets nothing. So one person walks by and changes the sign that says, today is a beautiful day, but I cannot see it. His basket filled up. His basket filled up. He went from I'm blind, please help, to it's a beautiful day, but I can't see it. He switched the perception. That person walking by understood that this thing called gratitude is a perception navigator, if you will. And when he changed that sign, it allowed everyone to change their perception of themselves, of the young man, and how to respond in any given situation. Just think about that. Same number of words, just a little bit of changing, and boom, you went from nothing to something. From nothing to something. Gratitude reframes reality. You know, so oftentimes I've heard, and I've done it myself, well, I'm glad that happened to you and didn't happen to me. We all done it. No, don't be ashamed. It's part of the core. But when we can be in a gratitude moment, we can understand that yes, it could have been me, and now that gives me ability to reframe any situation, so that you know, there but the grace of God go I. There but the grace of God go I, and everybody has a there but the grace of God go I moment. We've all had those moments. They're profound moments because they allow us to realize no matter how much we plan, no matter how much we pray, no matter how much we meditate, there was a song that used to go, the Creator has a master plan. The Creator has a master plan, and because the Creator is infinite, it sees all things at all times in all places. We have an infinite provision, but we only can deal with it in finite terms. So we sometimes get lost in this thing called life. But if we can step into gratitude, it opens the window. It opens the idea of what gratitude looks like. Now, for the young man, nothing changed, just the lens of perception changed. He was still blind when they gave him money and when they didn't give him money. So the question becomes, how do we begin to turn these things that seems like obstacles, and we have a few of them right now. I'm sure some of y'all are aware of them. I won't mention any because there's too many to mention. But there's definitely enough for you to be aware. But in gratitude, if we can ground ourselves in gratitude, we become beacons of light, beacons of hope, beacons of understanding. And we can all use a little bit of that in many different places today. And so we want to look at, how do we ground ourselves in gratitude? Or how do we, utilize this space to create a world that works for all? Well, the first thing, I think, we have to develop a discipline of noticing. How many times have you noticed you took a breath since we've been sitting here? I haven't. But we know that through the breath, through breath work, one of the most, taught spiritual practices on the planet right now is breath work. All kind of cadence, all kind of hold and don't hold. And it's a myriad of ideas about noticing your breath, because that gives you the opportunity to notice life. Because without breath, nothing's happening. Right? They say, and the divine blew the breath, and it became a living soul. Behind that breath is also the other particle of life called water. Breath, air, and water are basically first cousins. I would say kissing cousins. You can't have one without the other. That's the positive and negative, the ups and downs of what gratitude provides us. It requires an intentional effort, not to breathe, but to be aware of the breath, to be aware of the gratitude, to be aware of the thing that gives us the power, the presence to be exactly who we are. But we got to notice. We can't get too caught up in somebody else's play. You got to create your own play or realize your own play. Just noticing. Says gratitude is not just a reaction to good things. It is the consciousness that creates the good we experience. Consciousness to create the good we experience. Eckhart Tolle says this: it is through gratitude for the present moment that the spiritual dimensions of life open up. Just noticing the present moment, it'll open up. That's what we have to do. And we have to do that for ourselves and for our neighbors, especially those that may be experiencing a little angst in the present moment. Right? We understand what the present moment is, but we understand we have a consciousness that opens something else up. That opening might be me, it might be you, or it might not be, but there is an opening. And we have to determine where we fit in that opening. Now, the next thing we have to develop or grab hold of or take out of our pocket or toolbox is the tool of reframing. The tool of reframing. You ever had a picture and you had it in a frame on the wall and the room just looked drab, and you say, I just got me a new frame for that picture. Let me put it up. Change the picture, changes the room. Just all you did was got a frame, a new one. You reframed it. Redecorating the house, making the room feel more engaging just by reframing. Gratitude changes how we see, not just what we see. It changes how we see, not just what we see. So by reframing, we begin to see differently. It's kind of like if you ever had binoculars, or the first time you had binoculars and you didn't know which end to look through. You know, you look through the big end first, and everything looked mighty small. You're like, goodness, these things are not worth my money. But then when you flip it around, you see everything not only bigger, but even a wider perspective. That's what being grounded in gratitude does for us. It just gives us this groundwork, if you will, to reframe things, to look at them differently, to activate them differently in our lives. It turns obstacles into opportunities. It turns judgments into soft awareness. Into soft awareness. And then finally, this is the grand finale, if you will. And this was Ernest's, I would say, coup de grace, which is, it's the creative power that takes things from nothingness, if you will, to something. It is a creative power, gratitude is. It helps us build on solid foundation. You know, we know the story about the little pigs, and they had these houses they were building, and the ones that were not on solid foundation, the old wolf, the old obstacle, the old challenge just came and blew that house away. But when they got to that third little pig, he said, ooh, I done learned. I watch your house get jammed up. Let me build a real good foundation of gratitude that I can get some bricks and mortar, and we can make this thing sound. And what happened after he got the lesson from all those obstacles? So y'all come on, live with me. He expressed that gratitude to others, that wisdom, that knowledge to others. How many of us are doing that? Next time we go to the grocery store, even if it's today, get 2 extra cans of beans or corn or whatever. Get an extra bag of rice. It ain't gonna cost no more than a couple of dollars. Take it to the food bank. Take it to the food bank. Because we understand by having a good foundation, I can share and I can help everybody else understand what it means to be in gratitude, or a foundation that is based on a creative idea. A creative idea. And we understand, Cicero said this, when we think about how we reframe this into this creative idea. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all of them. Gratitude, this thing about giving and this thing about loving, gratitude sets the stage, the foundation for all of it. And we know through the quantum field. Ernest was such a brilliant mind when he said he looked forward to science and spirituality walking hand in hand from the visible into the invisible. That nothingness, as some people say. Because quantum physics has clearly elucidated, if you will, this idea of the observer effect. This idea that by observing a thing, by being aware of a thing, we create things in that space. When you're looking at it, it's a wave. When you're not looking at it, rather, it's a wave. When you look at it, it's a particle. Meaning, when I'm not looking at it, there's infinite possibilities that may happen. But the moment I look at one of them and lock in on it, it becomes a real thing. A real thing. Right now, we all have a myriad of thoughts running through our head, but until we lock in on one of them, it's an infinite possibility of what we can think, do, act, say. Pick one. When we give thanks for everything, everything gives us energy. When we give thanks for everything, everything gives us energy. I want to end with this quote from Oprah Winfrey. Oprah said this: be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. we just doing a little reframing. We just setting on a foundation that everything is everything, as they used to say in the 70s. Maybe dating myself. But that's what we have to do to really begin to be grounded in gratitude, so that we give freely, that we receive freely, and that we move in a way and a knowledge, and more importantly, a wisdom that knows that everything is everything. Everything is everything. And so, as we close, may gratitude be the ground beneath our feet. May it be the stable foothold that we lean into every day. And so I ask that each and every one of us remind ourselves constantly of what gratitude is, what it means to be in a reframing state of mind, and to know that there's power in your thoughts, your words, your deeds, when you're plugged in to the grounding electrical force of gratitude. And so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And so as we walk this week and find ourselves grounded in this gratitude, a couple of call to actions. Every day this week, notice I said every day, because we're trying to be grounded in it. Find one person in your contact list and let them know you are grateful that they are in your life. Every day, one person. And just call, say, you know, I just call, say, I love you, man. I love you, girl. You know, that's all. See what it, and I just popped it and write it down how you felt after that. How did you feel after that? The second thing is, every day this week before you go to bed, list 3 good things that happened during the day. And they got to write no whole sentence, just list 3 things. And watch how at the end of the week, or notice how you may look at things a little differently. And so we want to anchor it with this affirmation. Just for today, as we do this every week, every day this week, just for the day, I'm grounded in gratitude, rooted in love, and surrounded by joy and abundance. And so it is. And so it's that time of sacred giving, showing gratitude for who and what we are and what we try to do here at CSL Denver. Your support is unspeakable. We need it. We love it. It supports us. It keeps us growing and keeps this message live. And so you can look at the many different ways you can give running across the bottom of the screen, but however you give, please give. And if you can anchor that idea with our affirmation by placing your hand on your heart and repeating, this perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And so now we'll have Alice come and give us some announcements.
Thank you, Reverend Elzia. We are so truly grateful for you. We're glad you answered the call. And for those who don't know, the Reverend Elzia's, every week we do his call to action affirmation. We put it on our website under the Minister's Message tab, and it also is included in the weekly MailChimp that we send out, and that usually comes out on Thursdays. So just keep that in mind. And we still have the new November, December Science Mind magazines available for sale. They're over on the table. They're $10 a piece. It's a bi-monthly magazine. And we have a bunch of older free ones, so please help yourself to those. And our Divine Dialogue will be next Sunday, right after service until noon. And so after service, Reverend Elzia and the practitioners get together, sit down, and we just have a discussion about what's happening to us, what we feel has some depth and spiritual depth to us that we need to discuss. And also, please mark your calendars for Sunday, November 23rd, which is 2 weeks from today, for our annual First Turkey celebration. It will be our community cafe, and it will be at 10 o'clock. And we will be having lots of food, turkey and the fixings. Our founding minister, Reverend Jim Chandler, started First Turkey as a celebration of community. And as Jim liked to remind us, it's the first turkey dinner of the season. In case you don't know, Jim began the Center for Spiritual Living Denver in the mid-1990s as an urban spiritual community where everyone was welcome with open arms and hearts. And 30 years later, everyone is still welcome with open arms and hearts. And the fab and fun tradition of First Turkey continues. You won't want to miss this. So bring yourself, bring a friend, bring a side dish, or a dessert to share. And like I said, we would have turkey and some fixings. And love offerings are always gratefully appreciated. And our Curiosity Corner, we've got a bargain table and we've got a regular table. And the bargain table is going to go to be donated, and we're going to move some of the stuff from the regular table. So we've got some new books and cards and stuff, so please take a look at them and see if there's anything you just can't go home without. We are so blessed to have New Thought Media Network, and Diego is our Sunday service producer. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They have over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs, and we have we don't have any printed schedules, sorry. I need to print those out. So there's always something for everyone on the New Thought Media Network show. We are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sunday or watching our services online. We know that as we move through the rest of this year, we don't have a lot left. The Divine Beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us. Now let's close out with Karen Drucker singing I'm So Grateful.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. So grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am so grateful. Hey, grateful. I'll just count my blessings. Grateful. I just count my blessings.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.